Hey, People's Phil / Poly going here. Welcome to episode 11.1, whatever we want to call it, of the channel. More Dark Souls and more Forest PvP. And I have no idea why I keep saying more like that. Pretty stupid. But I got to eat some crow this time out, because last time on episode 11, I came out into the Ganker's Forest as a lone host, rocking my strength build, nice little tree trunk slung over my shoulder, just as you see here, and got backstabbed into oblivion. So I spent the episode just kind of talking about backstabs and backstab fishing and motivations behind it and how the game kind of teaches you to do it, and just had some generally disparaging comments about the quality, less than shining quality of PvP in the forest. Nothing new. This time out, man, eating my hat, I found some of the most honorable PvP to date. And that is one of the things that I just love about this game and about the community. It never ceases to amaze you. Or surprise you. I mean, good lord, honor duels in the Ganker's Forest? What? There we go. Episode 11.5, 11.1. I don't know. Here we go. All right, now I feel like I should put some caveats on some of this stuff because it is still the forest, right? So it has a reputation, a well-earned reputation, like I was saying in the last one. What a weird delayed parry. Totally missed the riposte. That seemed awfully quick for him to recover too. Anyways, it's still the forest. You're still going to get rushed. You're still going to get the occasional gank from two forest hunters being there at the same time. Even if you're a lone host, not everybody's playing it straight all the time. But there were a lot of duelists I came across disguised as forest hunters, which I thought was just so pleasantly surprising and just so refreshing. This right here was probably the cheapest thing I saw. As I waved to him, he hits me with his ranged attack from that golem axe. Luckily, that thing was pretty impotent. Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt me. Spoiler alert, it does not. But I mean, I was overall surprised. So this is a little bit of a yin to the yang of episode 11. And I thought it only fair because it was only about a night later and the quality of PvP seemed drastically different. And if I was going to go off and rail in episode 11 about the forest and how cheap it is, surprise, surprise, I thought it only fair to present the other side of that coin as well. But like I said in the head of the episode, I mean, that is just one of the charming things that I really love about this game. That's one of the great things that I like about the game and the community behind it. Is just that element, that reflection of human nature, as goofy as that sounds. I mean, you can come out on any given night and have fight after fight after fight with the little try-hard gangsters who are doing everything they possibly can to win, and then come back the next night, or shit, come back the next hour, and they'll be gone, and you'll have honor duel after honor duel after honor duel with guys that are just playing very clean and not pulling any kind of cheap tactics. And I've said in the past, I am absolutely a duelist. That is how I prefer to take my PvP. 1v1s, clean fights, no cheap tactics. I'm not a big random invasion guy. And I don't know that I would say I am in the honor brigade, but I do try to fight pretty clean. Good win spear guy. Not great bloodthirsty Dark Wraith in the background. Come on, let him enjoy his win. Well, but thank you for the souls. We'll see you later. I actually remember that Dark Wraith because he comes up later, and it was one of the most hilarious and gratifying experiences of the night. I'll share that. I got a clip of it coming up. But kind of getting back to the community, I am always impressed at how cool people are. I don't often show this, but I'm a big messenger. I'm a big message sender. So after a match, I am constantly sending out GGs or compliments or asking questions or things like that because I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to just come up against new stuff. So if I find somebody that just makes a mockery of me, I'll send them a message that's sort of like, oh my God, I was just outclassed in that one. Or if I come up against a really cool build or something, I'll say like, dude, your build is awesome. And I'm always amazed at how cool people are and the responses I get from that. I mean, there is still, as Dark Souls is long in the tooth, a flourishing community behind it. And that's pretty cool. Pause. Okay, so here's this guy I was talking about, the Dark Wraith from just a second ago. He rolls in, fires up Power Within. Shit. Buffs his weapon. Shit. I give him a little, shit. Homing Crystal Soul Mass. So I know this guy's going to be coming in guns blazing. He's coming in hot. So I'm getting ready with my parry. He's going to one-shot me. And yet, parry. All the buffs, all the power within in the world cannot save you. I'm sorry, the tree gets in the way. But that was so gratifying. And, you know, it really makes you feel good as a player to say, like, all right, I know exactly what's coming. I can see it from a mile away, and here's how I'm going to deal with it. And I think that's one of the great things that, throwing it back, before I got derailed, talking to more experienced players and asking questions and just not being afraid to die. You died. Buys you. And I'm really starting to feel a lot more comfortable as a new-ish player. I would say I'm no longer a new player. I've been at this for about 10 weeks now, Dark Souls. So I'm getting a little bit more comfortable. I'm having some success. I'm learning a lot of stuff. And I absolutely attribute that to the community. Watching videos from other uploaders, asking questions from people that just destroy me. Because they will often come back with great recommendations and great comments. And they'll say like, man, your defense seems really low. Try using Havels and equipping some better armor for poise instead of using the wolf ring. And it's sort of like, how the shit do they know I'm using the wolf ring? And then I'll go look it up and say like, oh, because it gives you that little aura. And I love coming across stuff like that. And I think that's made me better as a player. I'm definitely not a good player yet, but that kind of thing is making me a lot better. So thank you to all the guys who have kicked my ass over the past 10 weeks and then been so forthright and forthcoming with helpful information. And that ranged attack from the Moonlight Greatsword hurt a lot more than I was expecting. And speaking of this guy, actually, so I ran up and tried to parry that. I think I've seen that you can parry that ranged attack from the Moonlight Greatsword. I didn't quite get there in time, didn't quite have the timing right. So I'm going to keep practicing that, and I think that would be pretty cool, a neat little trick to have in the bag. And another little tangent. Here's the downside of being a host in the forest. When those forest hunters come in and you defeat them, they do not drop humanity, which kind of sucks. So unless you're some kind of super player that never loses, you gradually get chipped away at and your humanity goes down from each of your losses. So that kind of sucks. There's a date in my future with farming rats. But getting back to that guy with the Moonlight Greatsword, his name was Outcast Sven. I fought him several times over the night. So, hey, what's up, man? If you ever happen to come across this video, if anybody out there knows him, here he is again, actually rocking the Gargoyle Halberd. And look at this. I mean, he's waiting for me. He's not rushing me to take care of the little thief in the forest and all that kind of stuff. So I'm in honor in the forest. Who'da thunk? But this guy tossed me around quite a bit over the course of the night. And each time I was sort of like, oh my God, good game. That was awesome. You know, what did I do wrong? What made that so predictable? All that kind of stuff. And he was just an encyclopedia of knowledge and help in terms of like, well, here's what you did. And he was recommending weapons. I told him it was my first time with a strength build. And he was like, try out this, try out that. And I just love meeting people like that via the messaging system and the after duel system and all that kind of thing. And I think that's one of the things that is just so fucking cool about the Dark Souls community is helpful people like that. And I try to pay that back. I mean, I am by no means a knowledgeable guy about this game. I haven't been at it that long. But when I do come across the opportunity to share some knowledge, as in the case of perhaps uploading some videos, I do what I can to pay it back. And I would encourage everybody to do the same, because despite the fact that Dark Souls is a little long in the tooth, it still has a fantastic, thriving community behind it. And I think that's fantastic. And I think that's so cool in terms of a juxtaposition to what I experienced the other night in the forest, where it was just cheap, like a little nest of baby birds. And this time around, I mean, I think, so coming up here, this is the only backstab I experienced in my entire session out here in the forest this time around. And this thing was well-deserved, because I got awfully sloppy with my running one-handed overhead smash with that great club. He just calmly moved out of the way, gave me a little sting, and went on about his business. I shot him a message that was like, well done. Here we got a little bit of a rusher, but I mean, again, it's the forest. That kind of stuff happens. But overall, I was so thrilled with my time spent bombing around here and the help I got from players, and it is so appreciated. And that kind of thing does seem kind of unique to Souls games. I experienced exactly the same thing in Demon Souls. Even as a new player, guys would come in and invade and just shred me. And I'd send them something that was sort of like, what was that? What was that weapon you were using? Or what was that technique you were using? Or what was that move? And they would come back and just help. Same thing in Dark Souls. Not across the board, of course, but I mean, I really do feel that for every little bandito who is out there trying to rape and pillage, there is some really knowledgeable veteran who is totally cool about it and absolutely willing to share knowledge and help other people get better. Because as a whole, as the community gets better, things become less boring. If you are just some super player and out there obliterating everybody, help them get better so it's less boring for you. Unless you're just one of those guys that lives and dies by the length of your kill streak. But I mean, for the most part, I haven't met a lot of those dudes. The Call of Duty, the first-person shooter mentality, the Halo mentality, it doesn't seem to be present across the board in Dark Souls. And I forget about it every single night until I pick up my sticks and play the next day. Oh, I finally beat him. Hooray. Thanks, Outcast fan. You were great. But I forget about it every single night, and then I come back and play and experience something new and refreshing and helpful again. And it's just kind of like, God damn, I love this game. And I know it sounds like I'm gushing a little bit about the community, but I am. It's a pretty rad group of people that are playing this game. I mean, and I really do think it's kind of unique to Souls games. So to all of the people that have left comments, helping me out, or giving advice or asking questions and stuff like that, you guys are fucking awesome. All the guys that I've fought that have just absolutely torn me to pieces and then have come immediately right back and provided helpful information, you guys are awesome. And I just thought it was kind of appropriate, I guess, to share some of this stuff, to sing the praises of the community in light of the last video that I put out that was just sort of cheap, heaped upon cheap, heaped upon cheap. Oh, I get it. It puts the heap in cheap. There we go. There's a little cleverness for us. So I really wanted to showcase this one, like I was saying, the yin to the yang of the last one, and put this out there. Because, I mean, don't be afraid to ask questions. Absolutely ask questions. You can kind of tell by the way that people play, too. Like, if you just got beat, or if, you know, somebody was just kind of being a dick. The dude that rolls in, casts Tranquil Walk of Peace, and then spams Dark Bead at you, probably not the best dude to be asking advice from. But I mean, the guy that comes in with a short sword and is just rolling around and poking you, and he has, you know, I've fought guys with short swords with my great club, and they have to hit me 15 times, and I have to hit them twice, and I'm unable to hit them twice in the time it takes them to hit me 15 times, and it's sort of like, oh my god, I just got outplayed. So well done. And those are the guys that I will always send a message to and be like, hey, what is up? And on the flip side of that, I'll always respond to messages too. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I think that's one of the things that just makes this community so great and gives the game such legs, that people are still playing it. And with that, I think I'm going to bid you adieu. Couple quick items. I think I've got my video settings dialed in now, so hopefully some better quality stuff coming down the pike. My first 12 or 13 or however many it's been had that black band around them. I think I've got that all sorted out, so there should be some better looking stuff in the future. And again, if you like this, give me a sub. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments or shoot me a message or whatnot. I'll keep doing this. And then there's another live episode of the Faith Gouge playthrough coming up. I'm about to get that one posted, and stay tuned for episode 12. Thanks as always for watching, for listening, and let me know what you think. See you next time. Bye.